What's up and welcome to Enhanced Finance, where our mission is to give our viewers the motivation to make more money and the skills to keep it. If you fall into the category of people who have accumulated a decent amount of debt and are now considering options for paying it off, then this video is for you. While paying off the debt is an option you can use at any time, there is another option where you can negotiate a smaller amount with your lender and settle your debt. While paying a smaller amount instead of the lump sum payment is very attractive, it has its pros and cons, which most people don't know. Today, we are going to talk about whether you should pay your debt in full or you should settle it. Please give this video a thumbs up before I go on so that the YouTube algorithm can continue to deliver you videos like this. Also, subscribe and turn on the post notification. To completely understand your options, keep watching the video till the end. Before I tell you which is the better option between paying your debt in full and settling it in full, let me first clarify what these terms mean. Paid in full. If you fail to make your credit card payment at any point, your credit card lender will report it to the bureau, which will update your credit report to reflect the current status of your accounts. When you have an unpaid debt, one option is to pay it in full, which means you have to pay the principal amount plus any applicable interest. Paying debt in full is an option after it is due or in collections and you are no longer in a position to make the payments. When you pay your debt in full, it has a positive impact on your credit score. You can even say that the positive effect of paying your debt in full is greater than paying the debt by making timely monthly payments. To calculate the credit score, payment history is given 35% weightage, and debt paid in full reflects that your account is in good standing. Who likes debt looming over their heads? No one, so people pay back the debt in a lump sum amount and get rid of it once and for all. Consider you have $400 credit card debt, so paying in full will mean paying $400 and any late fees to bring your account in good standing. Settled in full. If you think you cannot pay your debt in full, you can use another option, which is pursuing a debt settlement. When you go through with debt settlement and act upon the terms negotiated with the lender, your account is considered settled in full or sometimes is paid in full. It is reported by the credit card lenders to the bureau and updated on your report. Settled in full simply means that instead of returning the full debt, you negotiate a lesser amount with your lender. To settle your debt, you must come up with an agreement with your lender to pay less than what you currently owe. Creditors only agree to a settlement when they find the chances of getting paid back are slim or you are extremely behind in your payments. You can either talk to your lender directly and come up with an agreement, or you can hire a company that can do it for you. When you settle your debt, your credit report will show the outstanding debt as settled in full when you have acted on the agreement with the creditor. Debt settlement is not something that is favorable for the creditors. It doesn't impact your credit score or report in an ideal way, as it leaves a mark that you have a history of not paying back the entire amount of the loan back. While settling in full is not as appealing as paying back in full, one thing you should know is that the lowered credit score is removed after 7 years from your credit report if you decide to settle. Not paying anything at all, here at Enhanced Finance, we recommend paying your debt off on time in full every month. Paying in full or settling in full means you are giving something back to your creditor, which is how it should be. If you fail to pay anything, you will be defaulted and marked as charged off. If you own an account that is not paid, it will negatively affect your credit score, which will appear on your report, and it will give the lenders in the future an idea that you have a history of not paying back your debt, and it will not help you out even if you need to get credit for any emergency. Not paying back means the lender never lets you borrow money again, which is bad in many ways and should be avoided. Paid in full versus debt settlement, which is the better option to choose? Well, now that you know what paying in full and settling your debt means, you'll be wondering which is a better option and why. Paying in full is the best option that you should try to use if you have the capacity. It not only helps boost your credit score, but if you didn't miss any payments, your account maintains a good standing that stays on your report for almost 10 years. Yes, you heard it right. It lasts longer than delinquencies, which stay for 7 years on your credit report. But as you know, life is not smooth and you can miss making your timely payments due to a medical emergency or some other emergency, and you fall back on your payment schedule. In that case, you should also consider paying in full, as it is still a better option. If you experience such a situation, you should try to renegotiate the terms of your original agreement with the lender. You can work out a moderate repayment system where you can pay a lower monthly payment and extend the time of getting the money back to him. You can even talk to them about postponing or reducing the payments for some time so you don't get drained. But let's say paying the debt in full is not an option. Loan settlement is the next best option you can use. Settling your debt is a better option than going into default and not making your payments and negatively affecting your credit score even further. Debt settlement reduces the total amount of outstanding debt you must pay back to your creditors. Even if you pay back the debt to your lender at an amount less than the original, it will still lower your credit utilization and boost your credit score. There are 3 signs. If you encounter them, they will imply that you should go for a debt settlement. You feel that you cannot pay back your debt even in the next 5 years. Your debt is more than half of your annual income. You don't have the option of a debt consolidation loan. Do bad debts get deleted from your credit report? One of the very commonly used tactics by the collection agencies is portraying that all your negative information will be scraped from your credit report if you settle your debt. For this to happen, you must write a letter to the creditor or the debt collector outlining your risk. If they agree to your request, they have the authority to remove the negative credit information from your reports. But this pay-to-delete tactic doesn't always work because it's kind of illegal, because the only way to remove negative information from your credit report is with time. Either you can choose to pay your debt in full, or you have to wait for 7 to 10 years for the effects of your settled debt to go away. You cannot just magically make the negative information disappear. How to start paying off your debt? If your debt is not in collections yet, then you still have several options to choose from. But first, you should be clear about how much you owe and the total amount you have to pay for the debt. Once you've had a clear picture in your mind, you can either choose the debt avalanche or the debt snowball method. In the debt avalanche method, you focus on paying the high interest debts first. But in the case of the debt snowball method, you focus on paying off smaller debts, and it is a way to motivate people to pay off their debts. You can also choose debt consolidation if you want to simplify your debt and reduce the interest rates. This can be done before your debt is in collections, but if it's already there, you have to choose between paying the debt in full or settling it. How to settle your debt? If you decide to settle your loan, the first thing is to approach the creditor and negotiate the terms of the settlement. There is no fixed amount you have to pay to settle, so your negotiating skills can help you get the best package. You will encounter some creditors who may not accept anything less than 85% or 75% of the full balance due, while others may accept as little as 50% or less of what's owed. 3 things determine the amount of debt settlement: the total amount you owe to the creditor, the last time you made a repayment, the amount of money you can realistically pay. Some lenders may ask you to make a lump sum debt settlement payment, while some can agree to break it down into 2 to 3 payments to ease your financial burden. Debt settlement may help you improve your creditworthiness and increase your credit score. You have to send the conditional endorsement along with your payment to settle the amount. This usually helps get the lowest settlement, but again, the creditor can reject the terms. If the creditor accepts the credit endorsement but fails to act on the agreement, then you can sue him for violating the agreement. Pros and cons of settling your debt. Debt settlement has its pros and cons. If you come up with an agreement with your lender to settle your debt, then not only do you get relief from paying the overwhelming amount of debt, but you also make the process of paying the amount you owe faster. Illegitimate debt. Well, we can say that paying in full positively impacts your credit score and your credit report, in contrast with settling. When you agree with your lender to pay the amount in full, take it in written form along with a date and amount that will be reported to the bureau as paid in full. Just weigh all your options before choosing how you are going to pay back the debt. Check out these videos on your screen on how to improve your finances. If you like this video, hit the like button to receive more content like this. Be sure to subscribe and share the video with your friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Rest your phone. Also, debt settlement saves you from getting sued for not paying the amount back. If we talk about the cons of debt settlement, and the debt settlement providers charge hefty fees that go directly into their pockets. While settling is not as devastating as bankruptcy, it still harms your credit score, which stays with you for a long time. Also, you have to pay taxes on your settled amount. In some cases, your creditors can disagree with the terms and refuse to negotiate a settlement. You can pay your debt in full or opt for a settlement. Well, we can say that paying in full positively impacts your credit score and your credit report, in contrast with settling. When you agree with your lender to pay the amount in full, take it in written form along with a date and amount that will be reported to the bureau as paid in full. Just weigh all your options before choosing how you are going to pay back the debt. Check out these videos on your screen on how to improve your finances. If you like this video, hit the like button to receive more content like this. Be sure to subscribe and share the video with your friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.